Hello, I'm Philip Stoten for EMSNow. I'm here at SMT in Nuremberg, and I'm joined by David Bergman from IPC. David, good to see you again. Good to see you in Europe. We've seen a lot of each other in China of late. Your roles, you've kind of moved out a little bit from China and left it to...
We've added IPC hired a new president for IPC China, Phil Carmichael.
Okay.
He joined January 1st, and he's building a team. So I'm coming back to Europe now more.
Okay,
yeah,
that's exciting.
One of the places.
So how's it shaping up in China? Obviously, it's huge domain for you. Lots going on there.
A lot of things growing. Certainly with the training and standards activities. We have added activity in Taiwan as well. So part of Phil's team, we have a VP in Taiwan. Getting more involved in the show, trying to support our activity, our joint activity with the HKPCA in December. And then there's more to come. We've started an Environmental Health and Safety Council that I believe Huawei is chairing. And so I think you'll see more councils, more activity, even some government relations. I think that they're going to start. So more of what you would call a full-service industry association.
Okay.
And so it's China is grown up now at this point.
Yeah,
Our baby is born.
Yeah, and it's got some maturity there. And it's interesting you're adding Taiwan because there's a lot of decisions that relate to China that are actually made in Taiwan these days.
Absolutely. If you looked at some of the ones that you visit there, the large Taiwan ODMs, the Wistrons and Quantas, a lot of their headquarters are making the decisions, and so you want to be in touch with those guys as well.
Yeah.
And we have organizations we can cooperate. We're talking to the Taiwan Printed Circuits Association for cooperation as well.
Yeah. Okay. So coming gradually this way, you have Apex in India for the first time coming up.
Correct. It's our launch. It'll be in August, end of August, in Bangalore. Natural extension of our services there. We are working a significant amount of effort in the training, both in our normal training, which is our standards-based training, but we have created specialized training just for India, where they have very fresh employees, very young employees, and so we created some things specifically at the request of the market. We spent a lot of time talking to the high rel and space areas of India about our standards and some programs. Interest being expressed in audits to IPC standards, and so we're exploring how we can best serve that market. And so the show is an extension of the organization. More technology exchange with conferences and workshops. We did a first event in December. We called it NCEDR, which is a reliability and assembly conference, and so this is an extension of our efforts. Yeah. And we see how that goes.
Yeah, but the Apex brand going out there as well as
correct.
So a good mix of printed circuit board and assembly.
Correct.
Yeah. And what's the take-up been like from an exhibitor standpoint? You have a very solid base of exhibitors in for the California, next year.
The Apex companies have supported IPC very heavily in North America. We've had a lot of interest expressed, and we're still in our startup launch mode. So we have our work ahead of us to do, but I believe we can deliver an audience for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the content program, is that in collaboration with any local organizations, associations?
No, we're going to do that. Well, certainly we reach out to some of the local organizations, IEEE, SMTA, as well as ELSINA and CLIC and some of the local Indian organizations. And so we're reaching out to them for support and such. But for the conference, we have a pretty solid base. We've reached out through our call for papers and some of our workshop instructors. All of that stuff's coming in, and I have to, that's one of my jobs, is by the middle of May to have the program put together so that we can start to promote that.
Okay, and we're here in Nuremberg, so we'd be remiss not to discuss Europe. Your new role in Europe, what are you going to be doing? What are you going to be shaking up over here?
Well, the major reason for participating or coming this time, in addition to the show, but we have the cooperation with the EIPC on the World Convention, next year's World Convention.
Which will be at
it's
SMT
at
Nuremberg.
SMT Nuremberg in May of next year. And IPC and EIPC have been, this is now number 13, so we have a long cooperation with the IPC on this.
And that's through WECC, which
it's
is
now
the
World Convention is now under the World Electronic Circuits Council, the federation of sister organizations related to printed circuit boards. And so we had a program committee meeting the other day to set the conference topics that we're looking at, kind of do the layout for what it's going to look like, and then our objective as one of the supporter sister organizations is to get the papers from the U.S. To submit abstracts, and that's going to launch, I think, in the next week or so.
Okay, and that's a 3 or 4 day event here next year?
It will be a 3 or 4. We had it set at a 3-day technical conference next year, running in conjunction with the event.
Yeah.
So the show and Misago people have been great supporters of the EIPC and did a really nice job in the program committee organization.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's always been a very successful. It's kind of a world summit for that whole printed circuit sector, isn't it? And it's worked very well in the past. What else are you going to be doing here in Europe as IPC?
So there were two. We have had some more significant discussions with the IPC about potential collaboration for the future. And so I had a great meeting with them yesterday. I expect good things to be announced later this year. Tonight, meeting with the German organization FED. They're a great supporter of IPC, and we'll see what new things that we might do there. So I think you'll find, hopefully, some more offerings from IPC in Europe in conjunction with some of our friends here.
Yeah. And where are you going to be living now then, David?
That's a good question.
Where's home, apart from...
outside the plane and
apart
on the
from
road.
seat number 4B or whatever it is.
Well, I'm still, at this point, still out of headquarters.
Yeah.
But with Europe, I did a trip to Brazil for the first time. Right. Lot of interesting activity there.
Exciting market.
The show was the NEPCON show. The FIEE was much bigger than anything I expected, and so many people coming, just asking about IPC offerings and what we were doing with there and what they might expect. So, interesting new growth market to.
I think South America is pretty exciting at the moment. There's going to be lots going on.
Southeast Asia, in the last couple months, been to Singapore, been to Thailand, been to Indonesia. Haven't been to Malaysia yet, but that's on the calendar. We got a lot of places to be in, and a lot of interest being expressed. We are in support of IPC standards and training programs. We've been running these hand soldering competitions, which we've done for a few years in China, did in the US. So this year we just finished one in Korea, 130 some type of competitors. It was just over the top successful. We're going to do it in Japan, Thailand, Malaysia, and Vietnam this year. So
Fantastic.
a lot of you'll see a lot of visibility from the competitions.
Yeah, well, those have certainly been a real kind of way of bringing people together, and I've seen the participation of those. It's been not just good in numbers, but quality, and the enthusiasm is fantastic to see, isn't it? It's really good. David, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for chatting. Good luck on all your travels, and we look forward to chatting soon wherever we are in the world.
Sounds good.
Thank you.